I'm joined today by Eduard Mirzoian, the CEO of Restores Emergency Services and R&R's 2024 Ladder Award winner. The Ladder
Thank
Award
thank
is
you.
our annual award honoring outstanding young restoration professionals who are 35 years old and younger in their shaping today's workplace. This is the award's fourth year, and Edward came out on top of a very impressive list of nominees. All nominees are reviewed by judges based on industry experience and advancement, career and industry leadership, commitment to colleagues and customers, and last but certainly not least, community service and involvement. Edward, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor.
So let's start with your role of CEO at Restorers. So what are your high level objectives and day-to-day responsibilities?
Yeah. So I think we're at a point where I'm no longer truly like I'm still kind of involved in the day-to-days of the operation, but I'm kind of speaking to less people than I was at at the 3 million stage or when I was like more of an operator type environment where I was wearing many hats. So my day-to-days are really, speaking to the marketing team. We have a whole content creation team, and then speaking to our marketing department that's actually running our Google Ads, LSA, SEO, social media, stuff like that. And then also talking to, we just actually hired a director of sales. So now he's going to be handling all of our business development team, which is a
Mhm.
huge driver of our revenue. Speaking to our accounting team and our claims consultants that actually assist with processing claims and assisting homeowners and offering that white glove service and talking to our branch managers. So um, kind of reduce the amount of people that I'm speaking to on a day-to-day basis,
Mhm.
having higher level conversations.
Okay. Wow. So can you offer like an overview of Restorative Emergency Services, like maybe services offered and locations and clientele or whatnot?
Yeah. So in 2019, actually, when I when I first moved from Las Vegas over to California to start Restores right before the pandemic, as all you guys know, we were strictly out of Van Nuys, so San Fernando Valley in California. Not really LA, but it's kind of like the Valley area on top of LA. So we were, I was wearing many hats, and we were working out of a little like 9 by 5 office in a plumbing warehouse, actually, where, I was receiving leads from. So fast forward, through the pandemic and currently now we have Orange County.
Hmm.
We have our Orange County location, which is booming, which is doing amazing. We have our true LA location, which is in Gardena, kind of like by the Long Beach area. And
Hmm.
then we have now, which has turned into our headquarters, the San Fernando Valley area, which is in Van Nuys. So we we almost cover everything in SoCal besides San Diego at this point. And that's
Wow.
something that
That's a
we
lot.
are kind of in talks with to figure out, if we're going to be opening up there or not. But we're
Hmm.
just trying to strategize by the end of the year to see where we're going to be expanding to.
Okay. So how did you end up where you are today? What was your path to restoration?
Yeah. So my father and I, well, my father actually, and kind of stumbled upon the industry through a family friend that owned a plumbing company that he was sending, his water damage and mitigation leads to someone else. So we kind of just opened our doors the first day and started getting leads, but we didn't know what to do with it, right? So we had like 3, 4 whiteboards, and like the first day he got like 10 leads. That's a huge number and a great opportunity, but something that we definitely stumbled upon. So slowly, he started kind of learning the ins and outs of the industry. And then at some point, I was going to school for computer engineering. My brother was going to school for automobile design in California. So then
Hmm.
we were doing our own thing, but we kind of got sucked into the family business. Uh, in the first year, we were already both kind of. I was working at a restaurant. I was working at a restaurant on the strip.
Hmm.
Making pretty good money at that age. But at the same time, wanted to help my dad, and he wanted us to be part of the business also. So at some point, got truly sucked in, and then I ended up dropping out of school because my dad did have some health issues in regards to like some back problems and stuff like that. And it was probably from stress, right? You get 10 leads a day and you don't know what to do with it, and you're new to an industry, that'll cause a lot of stress. So he kind of gave me the keys at some point and was like, look, I don't care if this thing, closes down, burns down, or
Yeah, my health.
happens. You go figure it out, right? And
Yeah.
I think, that translates into health being one of the most important things anyone can possibly have.
Yep.
So, just started learning from really the bottom. As a technician, I would go out every single day, with some of the techs, do work until there was drywall all in my nose, and then would come back and start learning how to do invoices, how to do estimates, how to speak with adjusters, how to implement workflows and systems. But I really did start from the bottom. And the reason why I wanted to do that, it wasn't necessarily a thing where, I was forced to do that, but I did understand, like, working in other jobs. When you truly know how to do something yourself and you've done something yourself, you know the ins and outs, and you're not learning from other people's experience, but you're learning from your own. So that's why I was able to kind of be understanding about every single position within the restoration industry and create a proper system and workflow for me to be able to take that hat off, give it to someone else, but at the same time create a proper system and workflow for kind of like I always say this, but kind of like a tunnel, right? I want to dig the perfect tunnel and have everybody go through it
Hmm.
consistently until, we have to change direction, or that tunnel is now not big enough, or it doesn't fit our workflow, or whatever it may be, and then we readjust the tunnel. But I really enjoy solving problems, and I think that's why I'm here today, is because I took, complicated, some simple problems, and provided a documented, systemized approach to solving them, and that's how we were able to scale.
Hmm. So since you have really just been, really through every part of the business, like what area of restoration would you consider your specialty, or was your specialty? Probably
Yeah,
business, huh?
I think my specialty, I played a lot of sports when I was
Hmm.
younger, so that it's a good thing being a leader, but it's also a bad thing, right? There's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, a lot of especially for me, because I'm a giver. I care about everybody first, and then I'm all the way at the end. So I don't take things lightly. I looking at everything in detail, and I try to figure out all of the liabilities or anything that we could maximize and be efficient in. So to answer your question, I think, leading is something that I truly enjoy. Um, it's one of the hardest things to do in the world,
Yep.
because, it's all the anything good and bad is your responsibility. So I try to reduce the bads and increase the goods, and I truly enjoy what I'm doing right now.
Okay. Well, then we already know what aspects of your work you enjoy most.
Yeah.
So exactly why do you feel like leadership is most enjoyable for you, though?
So as a leader, it's hard to be it's kind of like being a dad, right? Or like playing sports. So it's anyone can be a dad, right? Anyone can be a father.
Yep.
But the difference between being something that's average and the difference between being something that's great is like oceans apart, right? So the reason why I enjoy being a leader is not just because to like boss people around or tell people what to do or be the first one to do it and experience it and have people follow me, but it's that I think I have experienced enough and learned from other people's mistakes and my mistakes, and I don't want my people to go through what I did, what I've been through, or what I know that can be avoided. And being able to kind of take all that pressure and all that energy and kind of use it in a way where I create a platform for other people to win. I think that's what keeps me going every single day, and that's what
Mhm.
keeps me waking up and going at it 110% is the seeing the results of the energy and effort that I'm putting in and how it's influencing everyone around me and their families.
Mhm.
It's the best part of being a leader in my eyes.
So, is there a particular project that's most memorable to you or that just kind of stands out in your mind? And if so,
Yeah,
what did it entail?
yeah, it's so that there's a couple,
Okay.
but one of them is when we had just started at Restores, and it's not like we were making money. It's not like, we were doing great initially because, you're a startup. But I myself went to a job as a project manager with one of our technicians, Javier, actually, who is the first person I hired, and he's still with the company. So that's one of my biggest accomplishments to this date, and he's doing
Retention.
really, really well. So um, that project was we walked into a house where the lady had lung cancer, and the reason why she called in is because she was having all these complications and she just couldn't figure out what was going on. So when I took that call, that was something that I was really interested in because I've seen mold do a lot of crazy things to people in the past. So when I showed up to the house, she took me to her bathroom where she showers, brushes her teeth, and stuff every single day of her life. And it's not a big house, it was a very small house.
Mhm.
And when I walked in there, it was what the general public thinks about mold. The black walls on every single square foot of her bathroom. And it looked like it was scrubbed and washed the walls. So someone had told her to just use bleach and scrub her walls. It should go away. So she did that like 5 years before, she had lung cancer. And she was finally fed up with this. She was walking around with an oxygen tank. And, I said, you know what? This is definitely not something that's going to be covered by your insurance company or anything like that. And she didn't have money. So um, I literally suited up with the team and, did that job for free for her. And that was one of the most memorable and fulfilling jobs that I've ever done for someone. We've helped a lot of people out in the past, but that one was one that I was truly involved in, and I was at a point where I couldn't give, but I could give what I knew, which was how to restore properties,
Mhm.
and it was really fulfilling, and that was my favorite job that I've ever done.
That is awesome. Really. So, on to the topic of growth, which is a critical aspect of a ladder award, of course. What would you say are some key ways you've elevated your own knowledge and skill set? I know that you said that you get out there with the team sometimes and probably not as much now, but
Yeah, I think the journey started in actually believing actually believing in myself, right? And the reason why I started believing in myself is because I started looking outside of the industry and seeing, getting inspiration from people that have been successful in the home service industry. So the logic was, if this has kind of always been my logic. If someone living, breathing human can do something, then I guarantee that I could do it too.
Mhm.
So I started looking and getting inspiration from like the plumbing and HVAC industry, where these guys were, you know, building companies that were 100 million, $200 million in revenue. And, I was way younger at that age, about, 5, 6, 7 years ago now. And I started looking at some of their habits. And some of their habits were constantly networking, constantly looking for inspiration, believing that, you could do these things and these things are possible and anyone can do it. They're no one special, right? And also reading books and listening to a lot of podcasts. The number one thing that's changed my life is one the super high expectation that my parents have instilled in us since we were younger, and the competitive nature between the friendly competitive nature between me and my brother. We're 2 years apart,
Friendly.
so I appreciate him for that. And
Hmm.
then also the constant willingness to learn and never think that, where I'm at right now is where I need to be my whole life.
Hmm.
So it started off from like the general books, and then I got into things like that were more focused on some of my weaknesses. So I made those weaknesses stronger. And then, even to this day, I take my phone into the shower and I put on a podcast in the morning, and I'm, I'm always listening to something, and I'm always learning. I usually don't listen to music anymore.
Hmm.
Uh, I just try to maximize every single second, every single minute that I can get to learn something new to progress. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So, could you talk more about the active role that you play in going this above yourself and helping your colleagues grow?
Yeah, definitely. And that same concept applies to I like this logic. The logic is a lot of people just kind of start listening to podcasts and start listening to audiobooks or start learning and reading, but they never apply, right? So I like to learn in seasons, I call it. So for like 3 months, I'll only listen, right? I'm only listening. I'm taking in information like a sponge. And then after that, I just stop listening to everything. I stop reading, I stop doing all of the things, and I start applying for the next 3 months. I have like a 90-day strategic business war map in front of me right now. So that's usually empty when I'm learning. And then when I'm applying things, I go ahead and put it on the board. And a lot of that, after I've went from A to Z and accomplished what I've learned, I go back to my team and I start making them listen to books. I start making them listen to audiobooks. I start sharing my knowledge with them, and it goes as far as like even personal development stuff, credit scores, making sure, your tickets are taken care of, all of the little things that provides like a sense of freedom and little wins that stack up to become bigger things in life. That's really what I'm focused on. And anything that I know, I want my team to know. I'm not withholding any information because at the end of the day, if they're happy, I'm happy. That's the way I live.
Wow. So, what advice do you have for other young people considering a career of their own in restoration who aren't already part of the industry or maybe in a different part of the industry or, just what advice?
Yeah, so I think it ties into exactly what we've been talking about this whole time
Hmm.
is one, you have to be confident in every single thing that you're doing, right?
Hmm.
Because most people don't go above and beyond. Most people are doing things in an average way. And you'd be surprised statistically when you look at statistics, like 90% of businesses don't crack $1 million, right? So the
Hmm.
bar isn't set too high. You just need to kind of go out there and experience and get a seed planted in your head that like these things are possible. And then for the younger population, you know, home services is one of the most amazing things because you're able to serve people, and it's people helping people basically. And if you enjoy, being part of companies that are constantly helping other people and servicing other people, and when you do something you immediately get a reaction, home services is definitely something that you should be a part of, especially restoration, where we're providing solutions to problems every single day of people's lives. And then on top of that, there's a lot of money to be made in the restoration industry. And to top it off, the software, the technology is kind of stuck in the dinosaur ages. So anything that you do, anything that you think and you actually execute it and you go through with it, it becomes super innovative. Can help other people in your community, can help your customers, your clients, and everyone that's involved in the industry. So we do need that fresh breath of fresh air, and
Hmm.
we do need newer people that have come from different industries and experiences, and a new way of thinking to enter this industry and really be the new wave, the new generation that goes out and changes this industry for the good.
So, last but not least, can you share with us a little bit about yourself outside of work? What do you do in your free time? Do you have any family or any hobbies?
Yeah, yeah. Um, like I said, I love sports. So on the weekends, my favorite thing to do is gather with all of my family and all of my friends and watch UFC, boxing, Formula One. My brother's really, really, really into cars. So he's
Hmm.
kind of influenced me into being into cars too. So we love, going out and going to the track and stuff like that. And then I do have a family. I'm young. I have a wife and I have a little baby. Now he's a year and 4 months old. And my favorite thing, my vision of my life has always been to have four kids and travel different places with them, have a different house for every different season and
Yeah.
go and just live instead of be focused on some of the wrong things. When you're focused on all the right things, you're a good person internally. You're gonna be blessed if you consistently stay practicing everything that you preach, not giving up when the times get tough, and just going above and beyond and doing the hard things, because when you do the hard things, you're going to have an easier life later on. So that's definitely something that I've applied. It's on our wall here. How you do anything is how you do everything. And that's something that I truly live with and live by.
That's perfect because that's a quote that I'm definitely going to pull and put in the article.
Thank you.
I'm totally doing that. That is great. Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time, Edward. Thank you so much for your time and your insight. And audience, I just want to let you know we are going to be presenting Edward the Ladder Award September for the fall experience. That is September 4th through the 6th. So if you're there, and hopefully you are there, come and shake his hand, learn something from him. Yeah, we're just so excited to, to be doing this. And congratulations, you are absolutely deserving. You are definitely a key leader in what the industry needs just for great continued growth.
Thank you. I appreciate it.